Welcome to this special 1 hour Christmas menu planning webinar. I'm Josh Brown, e-commerce manager at Bidfood, and I'm really pleased to be able to share with you all how a free-to-use recipe and menu planning tool can support you over the festive period and beyond. Whilst many of you will have been busy already planning your Christmas menus, today is about how Bidfood can support you with taking those plans a step further. On the agenda for today is really understanding what MyRecipes is, the information it provides to you, and a real-time walkthrough of the platform. Simple step-by-step instructions on how you actually create your recipes and build those into menus. How you can quickly and accurately calculate the right ingredient quantities based on the number of portions required and order all of those ingredients in just a few clicks. And also, really importantly, how MyRecipes supports you with monitoring costs and your gross margins based on your own individual pricing. Also, if you're buying certain ingredients from alternative suppliers, we'll look at how you can include those within your recipes as manual ingredients. Throughout today's session, you're able to submit questions using the Q&A at the top of your screen, and I'll answer those at the end of the session. Hopefully that's given you a good insight at what we'll be looking at over the next hour or so. So let's get started. For those of you who are brand new to MyRecipes and haven't seen it before, it's an added value tool offered exclusively to Bidfood customers with a main aim of helping you to create, control and manage your recipes. So how we do this is by providing you with full product information, which is all managed by Bidfood. So there's no need for you to spend time managing that. So it saves you time and also provides reassurance on accuracy. Live ingredient costs as per your agreements. So you'll always know what each individual ingredient and each complete recipe costs you to produce. And also the ability to easily calculate and order correct quantities to suit your serving requirements, helping you to avoid any over-ordering or wastage. Now we'll jump in and take a look at the platform. Everybody with a Bidfood Direct account has access to MyRecipes. So you'll find that when you log in by navigating to the menu planning tab, and from there you can access your recipes, menus, and so on. All of your recipes live within Bidfood Direct, and I've got a couple of examples, and we're going to take a look at some of those today. So firstly, to kick off, what does MyRecipes actually provide to you? So I'm going to take a look at one of my Christmas recipes and go through step by step all the information you get by inputting your recipes into the platform. So firstly, you get an icon for each of the 14 major allergens. So you've got a really clear and quick view of allergens which are, maybe, or are not present within the recipe. So nice and simple to understand. Any of the icons that are grayed out in colour, they are not present within the recipe, and any of them that are highlighted, that shows that the allergen may be or is present. You can hover over any of these icons to get a little pop-up, so we can see it does not contain celery, but it contains cereals, contains eggs, and may contain milk, and so on. You've got profit lights in line with government legislation, so you can see if your dish is low, medium, or high in fat, saturated sugars, and so on. And you've also got a really quick view of the nutritional statistics as well. So you can see your energy per serve, your number of calories per serve. And as we go down the page, you get a full nutritional breakdown as well. So the first section you come to is the costings. So as I mentioned, all of the information within MyRecipes is live. So all of your pricing is always up to date. So you can see exactly how much the recipe costs you to produce. You can see how much it will cost you to order all of those ingredients, and also the total recipe cost per portion. You can enter a sell price that you're actually going to charge the end consumer, and in doing so, using all of that information, we will calculate your gross margin. If any of your prices change, so if they go up or down, or you swap ingredients, all of these figures will recalculate automatically. So again, you'll have updated figures for your recipe cost per portion and also your gross margin. The next section is the ingredients that go into making this particular recipe. So again, you've got your allergens repeated at line level, so you can see which ingredients are driving which allergens within the recipe. And then you've got your individual quantities. So my olive and rosemary dough sticks, this recipe requires 1 piece, and that's costing 34 pence. 20 millilitres of olive oil, 10 pence, and so on. So all of that information is broken down to the lowest possible level. As we move down further, you've got a section for cooking instructions. So this is really handy. If you've already got these saved elsewhere, you can copy and paste them in. Otherwise, it's just a free text field for you to populate. Next, you've got your allergen section again, so you can clearly see broken down into words your allergens that contain, may contain, or are not contained. And then finally, at the bottom of the page, you've got your full nutritional breakdown. So again, you've got your traffic light symbols, and then you've got your quantity per serve and quantity per 100 grams for your calories, fats, saturates, and so on. So by utilising Bidfood Direct MyRecipes, that is all the information that you are provided with. So how do we actually create a recipe? It's nice and simple. Once you've navigated to the menu planning section of Bidfood Direct, this is where you're going to land. When you want to create a new recipe, we create new recipe. You enter the name of your recipe. You can enter a description if you want to, that is optional. And then we hit create. So at the moment, of course, there's no information populated. We want to add ingredients to our recipe, and we do that by clicking add ingredients. You're then presented with a very simple search. So in here, you can enter Bidfood product codes, you can enter keywords, and that will return all products that are available for you to purchase that match your search criteria. So depending on the product that you search for will depend on what its unit of measure is. So for things that are liquids, your unit of measure will be mil. Anything that can be counted as a piece will be piece, or in this example, we've got grams. So we enter the required amount, tick the select box and click add to recipe. All the ingredients you add will go into the unsaved changes section until you are ready. So if we just add a couple more ingredients. As we say, this one is a liquid, so the recipe unit of measure is mil. So again, I enter my quantity, tick the select box, click add to recipe, and we'll do one more where you can search by keyword. And then this is a product that can be counted as a piece. So 1 piece, tick the select box, add to recipe. So those 3 ingredients that I've selected are now in unsaved, and when I'm ready to go, I hit save and finish. Straight away, that's going to return me to the main page, and instantly I've got visibility of all that information we've just looked at. So for those 3 ingredients, I can see all the allergens, all the nutritionals, and my costings. As I mentioned, you can enter a sell price for your dishes. And once we hit save, that will then calculate my gross margin. If you want to add pictures, you can do so nice and simply. You simply click on the grey box, find where the picture is saved, and upload the picture. Now, I mentioned that ordering your ingredients and making sure you do that accurately is nice and simple. So if we go back to my Christmas recipe, if I know or I'm forecasting for the number of people that are going to be eating this dish, we've got a box here that says portions. If I'm going to be creating 65 portions of this dish, I can enter that into my portions box and hit scale. And that will then instantly recalculate all of my recipe quantities and costs up to the correct number of portions. What I can then do is I can add it to a shopping list, or I can load it straight into my basket, and that will then add the correct quantities to create 65 portions of that dish. So all of those ingredients are now in my basket, and I'm ready to check out and order the correct number. Christmas time, especially when we're creating dishes that maybe our teams aren't familiar with, we have provided a set of downloads. So if you want to keep these back of house, so if any of the team get any questions on what allergens are included within a particular dish, you can create downloads of all this information. You've got a couple of options. You can choose to download with or without costings information. That will produce a really simple PDF document, which you can then save down or print off, as I say, have that back of house ready for any questions you might get from any guests over the festive period. Once you've created recipes, you can then start to build those into menus. So again, from the menu planning tab, you've got the menus option, and I have created a Christmas set menu. So the logic of creating menus is exactly the same as your recipes. So again, you're going to get the same information, but now I've got an overview of all of the allergens and costings that make up this menu, so not just the individual recipe. So within my menu, it's a 3-course set menu. So I've got a starter, I've got a main and a dessert. And as we did with the individual recipe, you can scale that up. So if you're doing Christmas pre-orders, so your guests are telling you what they want to eat before they arrive, this is particularly handy because, again, you can put in the exact number of portions of people that have ordered this set menu, hit scale, that will recalculate all of those quantities. And again, you can add it to your shopping list or add it straight into your basket. The other great thing about menus is that you can add individual items. So as well as having my 3-course set menu, I've also added a Christmas cracker for everybody, a napkin, and also a glass of Prosecco on arrival. So that has all been scaled up as well. So if I were to load that into my basket, I'm ordering enough of all of those items, not just food, non-food as well, to serve 72 people. I mentioned at the beginning that if you are buying ingredients from alternative suppliers, you can also include those alongside your Bidfood ingredients. So again, from the menu planning tab, you will see an option for manual ingredients. And I've created a chicken Kiev that I'm buying from a local butcher. So if there is meat or whatever it may be coming from elsewhere, because obviously we're not supplying that product, we don't have the data. So it's a case of you populate what the product is and the details of where you're buying it from, your pack size and your costings. And then you would populate the full ingredients list, all of the allergen details. So again, it's contains, may contain, does not contain for all of your 14 major and your sub-allergens, and for your nutritional values. And then you can add those into your recipe alongside your Bidfood ingredients. So you're still getting a complete allergen, nutritional and costings profile, even though not everything is coming from Bidfood. Keeping an eye on costings and your gross margins over the festive period and beyond is really important. So again, from menu planning, you will see you've got an option for costings report. This provides you a really quick, clear view of what all of your recipes and menus are costing you to produce at this moment in time. Similar to everything else we've already looked at, this information is live. So if any of your costings do change, all of the detail you see within this page will change as well. But from this one screen, I can see exactly how much each dish is costing me per portion, For any dishes where you have entered a sell price, it will show you your live gross margin as well. If you decide that you want to change up ingredients within your recipes, it's nice and simple to keep those up to date. The ingredients summary provides you a list of all ingredients used across all of your recipes. If you decide that you want to use a different cream, you can click Find Replacement. That will show you all of the recipes that contain that ingredient. So whether it's one, as in this example, or it's 10, you can update them all in one go without having to go into each one individually. We simply select the recipes we want to update. And then again, you've got a choice whether you want to just search your available product range for similar products, or you can search by product code or keyword. But if we search by similar products, the system will then look at similar products that are available to me, and you can choose what you want to use as an alternative. So if I decide I want to use this cream as an alternative, I can simply click Replace. That will then remove the original ingredient. It will add in the new ingredient, and in doing so, that has then updated all of my allergens, nutritionals, and costings. So again, you've got a fresh, clean, up-to-date version of all of your recipes and menus to reflect that change that you've just made. I hope that has given you a really good insight into what MyRecipes is, how it can support you with your allergen and cost management over the festive period and beyond. So, of course, now we're focusing on Christmas, but MyRecipes is a really handy tool all year round, whether you're introducing new dishes and want to review the costs for those, or you want to have a place to come back and see exactly what allergens are included. MyRecipes is the great way to do that so that you know you've always got access to the most up-to-date information. For those of you who have already got a Bidfood Direct account, you're already ready to get started. Simply log into your account and navigate to the menu planning section as demonstrated. If you're not yet registered, simply head over to the website shown on screen, complete the short registration form, and we'll get you up and running as quickly as possible. And finally, thank you very much for joining today. You'll all receive an email shortly after today's webinar with a link to rewatch it, a link to our MyRecipes user guide to help you get started. And if you have got any questions, please do reach out to your Bidfood account manager, and we'll make sure that you can get up and running with MyRecipes as quick and simply as possible. And finally, I hope you all have a happy and successful Christmas when it arrives.